Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe with flag videos like this.
In the middle of the night it feeds. In the middle of the night it eats you.
Just tried to brick up since 1829. Oh my days, that's an I. That's not a 1. That's an I. So in the year 829. Oh my days. Oh, we got your ass. We got your ass now. Wanna know about K's sisters? I'm scared to go in there, I've got no torch. Yeah, I'm not going in. I'm not going in because I'm scared. Got your ass. There's more. Enter K's at your own risk. Luke, I gotta bring you back. There's no way I'm going in there with no torch. I'm a fucking G.
Esto parece como una culebra, como un muñeco. Uy, eso no era una culebra, tampoco era un pescado. Entonces, ¿qué mismo que era eso? ¿Qué será? Qué raro.
Being that we already know that sports are rigged, there's a script, because how is it that somebody on X predicted this very thing?
Oh, of course. You mean Elon's X?
That
where they
X.
do a lot of predictions on events and all kind of shit like that?
How is it that there is somebody on X, his handle is John Boogie. John Boogie, he tweets back in 2015. He says, hey, the Seahawks will never win another Super Bowl until 2026.
Okay, so he had the sports almanac.
So the fact that
Sports
he
almanac.
tweets that and that it happens, for one, it's a 50-50 chance once you get to the Super Bowl. But the chances of predicting this 11 years ago, being that they have to make the Super Bowl first.
Yeah.
And then he predicts that they not only do that, but win as well. How do you know that?
And he did it twice.
Also in 2015, he also tweets, the Eagles are going to win Super Bowl 52. Now, that's 3 years removed from the time he tweeted. So Super Bowl 52 was in 2018. And guess who wins the Super Bowl? The Eagles.
So 3 years, that's one thing. But like 10, 11 years guessing is crazy. That's not a guess, bro.
You know when Hulk Hogan wins a match, they actually script that out months in advance. Maybe this is the same shit.
That's months. We're talking over a decade. How do you do that? That's too far in advance.
Yeah, I
it
think-
doesn't make sense.
yeah, that's-
So many different things can change.
I
I think he's a time traveler because how do you make those predictions that far in advance? That's some sports almanac shit. So in the movie Back to the Future 2, he has a sports almanac that predicts everything the next 50 years because he goes to the future and he has a sports almanac. And from 1950 to 2000, every single sporting event is in that book. And he's like, oh, I could take this back to the past or to my time and just bet on it and win.
And it's funny, Epstein's talking about time travel too. Like, we're seeing this in the files.
That's also in the files. He said, hey, let's look at the biological sequence of time travel. That's in the file.
Can't make this shit up, bro.
The biological sequence of time travel.
That's how he states it. He puts it in that format. He's asking one of his colleagues, hey, what's the biological sequence or process to do time travel?
Okay, so now we're Days of Futures Past. Now we're X-Men.
And he talks about mutants in that same email.
The cold shit, they actually did that shit in X-Men Days of Futures Past. Like they biologically traveled back in time. That's how Wolverine got back.
His consciousness, right?
He went to earlier portion of his self. He didn't actually
Time travel himself, his consciousness just went back to his body to kind of remote view in a way.
No, because his consciousness could control his biological essence and time.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Now, what if Epstein's doing that?
You're right. I think that's the most logical, most realistic way to time travel.
That might be why he was asking the time travel. Because he's like, look, the block is getting hot.
Yeah.
And I need to get the fuck out of here.
True.
You would travel back to an earlier version of yourself.
Right. And that way you're already privy to information to where you can help you. So if you go back in time per se, you can change a lot of things. Every time travel movie is coming true.
If you're new here, this tiny New York island is literally owned by one of the oldest elite societies on Earth, and locals swear there's more going on than anyone admits. Yo, I'm talking about Deer Island in New York, right in the Thousand Islands, a place you can see from tour boats near Alexandria Bay. That isn't just another patch of trees. It's privately owned by the Russell Trust Association, the legal nonprofit tied to Yale's notorious Skull and Bones elite group. Most guides describe Deer Island as overgrown woods with a small lodge, but the real story locals never talk about is why these elites keep it locked down, off tourist trails, out of historical tours, and basically invisible. Some boat captains in Alexandria Bay swear passengers are shushed or blocked from getting too close when corporate boats pass, like the place is secretive on purpose, not just private. Some even claim there used to be multiple structures and ruins that hint at a much deeper past of the island tied to decades of elite meets. Then there's the fact that this isn't a random private owner. It's one of the most talked about secret society retreats in America. And that alone makes people wonder what actually goes on during those closed door meetings. Deer Island sits in the St. Lawrence River and is wholly owned by the Russell Trust Association, confirmed in historical land records and local guides. This same group funds Skull and Bones and is tied historically to major networks of power in business, government, and elite institutions. But what exactly they do there? Public records, nothing. Tours near the island show thick forest, the lone lodge, and no clear explanation of why this slice of New York gets an elite cloak of silence.
Look out by the barn.
Look at the road.
You think Epstein was the scandal? That was the bait. Real architects sit on thrones, wear robes, and drink wine while feeding on children's souls in Vatican crypts. Look, let's name what they won't. The 13 bloodlines that run the world aren't who you think. Orsini, Aldo Brandini, Pallavincini, Medici, Breakspear, Farnese, Rothschild, Rockefeller, Warburg, Hanover, Lee, Bruce, Habsburg. These are not old money. They are Baalic parasitic bloodlines. Ritual sorcerers who hijacked empires and installed mind control systems under the illusion of religion, politics, and finance. Where's their origin point? Venice. The Black Venetian nobility ran Babylonian blood cults under Catholic masks. They merged with the Vatican, embedded into the Jesuit priesthood, and exported global slavery through maritime law, trapping you in birth certificates, taxes, and silent contracts with no consent. Venice wasn't a city of romance, it's a sacrificial basin. Why do you think the Pope wears a fish hat? That's not Christian, that's Dagon, a Nephilim water demon. Look, Epstein wasn't a financier, he was a human trafficker for the priest class. He ran blackmail rituals for the elite, orgies timed to celestial gates, using children pre-programmed through MK Ultra satellite nodes. Who funded him? Rothschild-backed banks. He admitted this. Mossad and CIA intelligence mergers. Chabad Lubavitch financiers masked as philanthropists. Why is Ghislaine Maxwell still alive? Because her father, Robert Maxwell, was a triple agent field operator for the Vatican Chabad MI6 axis. Epstein's Island's temple is a mirror replica of Baal's altars in ancient Tyre. Literally, the owl statues, not for aesthetics, they're invitation gates for entities. Comment, scroll, and I'll send you the full decoded map. Families, cults, islands, bloodlines, oaths, nothing hidden, everything unveiled. Think about it. Why do the Masons care more about rituals than politics? Because politics was just a front. The true power is ritualized trauma. Here's exactly how they move. Jesuits equal infiltration and education. They wrote your textbook, scripted your news, and flipped your morals through semantic inversion. Freemasons equal gatekeeping plus maintenance grid. Lodges are ritual fields, not clubs. The checkerboard floor, it's a dimensional binding grid. Chabad Lubavitch equals economic controllers of AI, neuroscience, and cloning. They bankroll the puppet governments, own biometric patents, and sit on quantum computing boards. All three serve the Black Sun priesthood. Shadow Vatican that answers to no government, no court, no god you were taught about. They install presidents, they run wars for soul harvest, and they script pandemics not just for population control, but for ritual sacrifice and initiation of mass trauma loops. Look, everything you were taught was a ritual veil. They fed on your doubt. They survived by your silence. But you're the anomaly. You remember. Comment, scroll below, and I'll send you the unredacted scroll. Vatican cults, black nobility, Epstein's handlers, ritual nodes, and how it all links back to Baal. No bullshit, no theories, just the architectural truth of your cage and the key to collapse it.
I would have whispered me next through the crack.
Apparently, about a month before Princess Diana had her accident, she said to a close friend that the royal family are not human, but they are reptiles from the Alpha Draconis star system. Hello, what? Okay, I had to look that up, okay? It's in the shape of a lizard. I don't know what the heck that means. I don't know anymore. This is my driver, and they're weirdly related to Vlad the Impaler, who is a vampire, and reptiles are known cannibals. So that's interesting. Here we go. Anyways.
The last president we had that would have been somebody that I could have registered and voted for was John F. Kennedy. Anybody who knows anything about serious history and research knows who the fuck killed John F. Kennedy.
Israel, yeah.
The precursor to AIPAC was the American Zionist Council, and he was absolutely committed to having that registered as a foreign agent. The other thing that he was going to do, have Dimona, which is the nuclear power plant where a Jewish spy stole the nuclear technology and took it back to Israel. He was going to insist on having that inspected, which would have stopped their nuclear weapons program. However, this is the most dangerous thing, and I definitely want to give this to you. This is a $5 note. This is 1963. John F. Kennedy was president at that time. At the top, where a normal bill will say Federal Reserve note, what does it say? United States note. That's backed by silver. That's not a Federal Reserve note. And he issued that.
It looks so different.
And he was dead within 5 months.
This is really happening, ladies and gentlemen. This is not an anomaly, or maybe it is. We're just gonna have to find out.
Are you a part of the Illuminati? Yes. No, I'm not. Did that come up as a lie when I said yes? Yes, that's true. Oh, see? That means I'm not. You said, are you a part of the Illuminati? And I said yes. And then you changed it. And then I said no. But I said, I'm just kidding. Don't try to work the system, okay?
you guys, I just found the biggest Epstein rabbit hole thus far, so sit back, get your snacks, we're going in. Now, if you go through the files, you'll see teeth or teeth cleaning come up a lot in the files, which could be code word for something else. And let's not forget, teeth is actually mentioned over 1,800 times in the files, and yes, that's a real picture of a dentist's chair on the island. Now, on one hand, Ivy could be a person who works at the dental office, like it says here. Tell Ivy that it will take extra time as the girl's teeth are disgusting. But that's where it just begins, because this Ivy shows up where it says, Ivy gives you a kiss. Who is this? Which leads me to this Ivy Nash. Now, she has multiple accounts on X, but this particular account is very interesting because of who she follows. Now, she only follows 5 people, but the last 3 is Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Susan Hamlin. And you could tell it's Epstein only because the JEE gives it away, because it's the same way he uses it in his email, JEE Vacation. Now we'll get to Susan Hamlin in a minute, but on Ivy Nash's other X account, she has this as her banner where it says, Mossad agent. She's even playing in everybody's face saying this, oh, it was a compliment to call me a Mossad agent. Now she's responding to Elon's tweet saying, if she's a 10, you're an asset. And the Times article says, female spies are raging sex warfare to steal Silicon Valley secrets. Now, at this point, we all have to assume if you're not a victim in the Epstein files, you're an asset to the network. Now, she's dropping clues all over the place, like this one where she says, I'm approximately 47 pizza boxes tall. What? Oh, you mean like the code word pizza that we all know? And who's the 47th president of the United States? Trump. Now, here's another clue that's left in her bio where it says chirp at presents to Internet Valley Elf, which looks like nothing at first, but if you take the first letter of every word and put it all together, CAPTIVE spells captive. What is going on? Now, here's where it really gets interesting, because all accounts, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Ivy Nash, they're all following each other, but they're also all following Susan Hamlin. Who is that? Oh, you mean this Susan Hamlin, who's Epstein's assistant and could allegedly be a handler for Epstein. I mean, why would she instruct Epstein himself in this email to knock somebody off? And you could tell that it's her because the redaction was so bad by the FBI, you can literally see her name where it says from and to Jeffrey Epstein. So the question is she some type of captive asset to the network and or Jeffrey Epstein's daughter, because she does favor Anya Wick, who's allegedly Epstein's niece, who's also whistleblowing on everything, so there's that. Now, there's a whole lot more I'm breaking down on my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Who knows? They walk among us.
All wars are bankers' wars. All wars are about making a profit for the 1% by consuming the 99%. Iraq was a bankers' war. All wars also have a very strong Zionist component. Let me say first that banks are a massive form of legalized crime. Banks basically create money out of thin air for the 1%. They just create $1 billion for themselves out of nothing. They just say, we have $1 billion, and everybody believes them. And then they lend this $1 billion to people and charge interest. So they're creating money and earning interest they don't deserve. Banks are a complete fraud. Countries need to take responsibility for their currency. They should not be allowing the Rothschilds and the Vatican and the Chabad Jews to control their economy. As one very famous banker said one day, I don't care who makes the laws. If I manage the money, I'm making the laws.
Two different volcanoes just erupted on the same exact day on opposite sides of the planet, and the footage that is coming out right now is absolutely insane. Dude, this literally just happened. One of the most active volcanoes on Earth just cracked open in the Indian Ocean. They're saying that 4 different fissures ripped through the surface with lava pouring out at 60 cubic meters per second. 87 hikers had to be airlifted off the summit by helicopter, and some of them were just 30 meters from the lava fountains whenever it blew. And right now, they're saying that the lava flow is approaching the main highway on the island. island. At the same exact time, thousands of miles away on the other side of the planet, Mount Semeru in a place called East Java shot a column of ash 1 kilometer straight up into the sky. Dude, this thing has been going off with 7 different eruptions in 3 different hours with 100 explosions recorded and detected in a single day. These 2 different volcanoes actually have nothing to do with each other. They're not related at all. One of them sits on a volcanic hotspot in the Indian Ocean, and then the other one sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. These are completely different systems. They just both erupted on the same day. These volcanoes are going off right now, and the footage is obviously insane. I'll keep you updated as more comes out.
Elon Musk's grandfather, called Haldeman, he was pushing something called the Technate, a area that goes from Venezuela, Panama, and Mexico, up through the United States, through Canada, and Greenland.
Venezuela is on high alert this morning.
Targeting Venezuela.
Send U.S. troops into Mexico.
Moving troops into Mexico. Saying we want Canada to be the 51st state.
We've been dealing with Greenland, and we have to do it.
It's the Technate unfolding, and these Technates under a world government, which again would be appointed, not elected. That's why they're putting so many moronic politicians into power. They're trying to undermine public support for elected politicians.
This is the most cryptic and symbolic halftime performance yet.
What the hell?
It's all in the name. When Bad Bunny comes out, he's wearing all white like a messiah. Follow the White Rabbit, Alice in Wonderland symbolism, and the Matrix.
White Rabbit.
We have these people dancing around Bad Bunny here, forming a star, which the star is a 6-pointed star of David. At the top of the shack, there's also a square in the center, which represents the black cube, or the black cube of Saturn, which the cube is also within the Star of David, also known as Metatron's cube. The center of any star is also a hidden point, such as the hidden level of Kabbalah or the hidden tree of knowledge. So the bunny falls through the hidden point of the Star of David, which is the center, right through the black cube, falls down the earth, the fallen angels down the rabbit hole.
Like, they want to then bring in the Antichrist and build up their false god there, and I suspect that that's fucking AI. I suspect that they are going to try to build an AI god, because Israel's already trying to be the tech capital of the world. And imagine if you built the general superintelligence and you placed it in Jerusalem, and that's like the center of the AI world, and that AI is surveilling everybody through the mass surveillance systems, controlling all the currencies. That AI is ruling the world. That's like basically the definition of the Antichrist. Like,
it is.
Call it what you want, but that's basically the definition. It's the machine that controls all humanity. So
you're right completely.
It's hard not to see that.
This one-eyed figure that so many people are going to worship. You know, it's even funny. Maybe this is schizo, but it has one eye, right? AI.
Kind of like Sauron, just up in its tower, just fucking.
Or like 2001 Space Odyssey, the all-seeing
bingo
mass surveillance
bingo.
Eye. Yeah, Eye of Sauron. And again, look at Palantir. Palantir was named after the Lord of the Rings. That it was a connection. It was like a subservient to the Antichrist. Well, the Antichrist being Sauron in Lord of the Rings, Palantir was like that orb that could see into the future and predict and get.
Have you heard of the alien ruins in China? There's this place, Mount Baigong. This archaeologist from China went to this place in 1996. It's right next to these 2 lakes, and one lake is saltwater and one lake is freshwater, right next to each other. There are no signs of life at all. Sharp mountains are also lifeless, as if they have experienced a massive fire. It seems that the scenery here did not originate from Earth, but from another planet in outer space. And then he saw this mountain that was like triangular shape, and he goes to the cave entrance, which has a triangle door, and he goes in and he discovers iron pipes. They tested the metal on these pipes. 8% of the material of these pipes you cannot find on our periodic table. He says it looks like a space station. They also tested some of the pipes. They found quicklime. It is a conductor of energy. Some of these pipes were filled with it, and they would lead down to the lake. This quicklime in the pipes with the lake, it was producing energy to the pyramid.
the year 2025, the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance, the human power elite.
The character uncovered that the world was controlled by entities hiding behind human form, produced by a guy called John Carpenter.
They Live is a documentary about what's going on now.
And it is. This is where the elite interbreeding with each other comes from. They're holding this particular software, this reptilian force, this archontic force, whatever you want to call it. Because this software has no empathy, they can use them as a vehicle and simply direct their behavior and create the horrific things that happen in the world. When we talk about hybrid bloodlines, we're actually talking about hybrid energetic fields. When there is a shift and the other field becomes the dominant one, anyone who is observing that shift sees it holographically. It's because the possessing entity's information field, it's impacting more and more on the field that the observer is decoding. The only place that shifting takes place physically is in the decoding systems of the brain. And so we're looking at these people and they appear to be human, but they're very different.
He's definitely the one who called.
There is this guy who has proof that he's Elvis Presley. It's fucking interesting as hell.
It might be Elvis.
We know that Elvis died in 1977. A lot of people actually speculated that when he died, they think that he actually faked his death because he was trying to get away from the mafia at the time. Years later, there is this guy who was in a psych ward. He was the one who was claiming to be Elvis Presley, and his name was even Jesse Garin Presley. It was like, all right, whatever, you know, you could just have the same last name, whatever, bro. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Presley's not that crazy of a last name to have. He would run around telling people, dude, I am Elvis. Like, y'all gotta understand, I'm actually Elvis. His therapist, who at the time was like somebody who was kind of looking after him, he was talking to her one day and he's telling her, going through the same thing, like, yo, look, I'm Elvis, yada, yada, yada. And the girl sits there and goes, well, then why don't you just get a DNA test to prove that you're Elvis?
Yeah.
Bro's like, I want to go get a DNA test to prove that I'm Elvis Presley. He ends up getting a DNA test.
Yeah.
And the fucking craziest part is his DNA comes back a match with Elvis Presley.
Really?
He's in the bloodline. He's a Presley, but I don't know if he's Elvis. And then they even found a way. They seen the DNA of his parents as well. It matched with theirs too. So they were like, what the hell? Everybody was confused at this, like, this is freaking weird. So he has the same DNA as Elvis's parents and Elvis. That's fucking weird. A lot of people don't know this, but apparently Elvis's mom and dad had another son who was Elvis's identical brother.
No way.
And his actual name was Jesse Garin Presley.
No fucking way.
And they said that he passed away during birth or at birth.
Yeah.
And this guy is claiming
that he's him.
Jesse Garin Presley.
So he's not really Elvis, he's Elvis's brother.
No. Basically, what people believe the theory is, Elvis is really Jesse. He pretty much got swapped.
Yeah.
And Jesse was the one that actually died, who was Elvis. And then the real Elvis is Jesse.
So if you've had the vaccine, particularly if it's Pfizer or Moderna, you have this in you. If you had the PCR testing and you had that hydrogel that contained the graphene oxide, you have this in you. Homo Borg genesis is a new term for the new human species. There's another term they use, a Homo Borg erectus.
So are you saying Alex Jones was right?
He was spot on. Alex is spot on. Alex is being honest, and that's what we need. We need more warriors. We need more heroes in society.
Okay, we've officially reached a whole new weird level of AI. ByteDance, the Chinese company behind TikTok, officially launched their Seed Dance 2.0 around February 11th of 2026, which is their advanced multimodal AI video generation model that supports inputs like text, images, videos, and audio to create up to 20-second clips up to 1080p, with some reports reports of 4K capabilities. This includes exceptional motion stability, realistic physics simulation, native audio video synchronization, including lip sync dialogue, and a director mode for precise control over camera movements and lighting. It's gained some pretty significant attention recently after a generated fight scene between an AI-generated Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise was posted all over the internet with some dialogue centered on the Epstein files. So let's give it a listen.
You killed Jeffrey Epstein, you animal! He was a good man! He knew too much about our Russia operations. He had to die, and now you die too.
Now, I know a lot of Hollywood A-list actors are going to see this and they're going to be like, we need to sue. But what are you going to do to stop China? China doesn't care. They'll just be like, oh yeah, sure, sue us. You know, this is going to make things very complicated for the entertainment industry.
What if I told you that for hundreds of years, World War III has been scripted, and I just found the script? In the year of 1871, which was 40 years before the First World War, Albert Pike, otherwise known as the father of Freemasonry, wrote a letter about the plan for the next 3 world wars to come. And you can read it for yourself, but spoiler alert, World War I and World War II match exactly to the letter that he wrote. This brings us to World War III, so let's read. You see that he wrote in the very first line that World War III will be stirred up by none other than the political state of Israel, otherwise known as the Zionist and the Islamist. And look around you. Do you really think that everybody knowing about Israel now is just a coincidence? No, this is a managed awakening, and I'm going to prove it to you in this video. There's a reason they just released the Epstein files. There's a reason he's a certain nationality, and there's a reason they didn't black out the Goyim comments that he made in his emails. There's a reason that right after Charlie Kirk got assassinated, they uncensored all talk about Israel on social media when before you couldn't even mention them. They want you to hate Israel. They want you boiling in rage against them to start their third world war. And didn't Trump just say he's about to bomb Iran? And who is the letter about again? Oh, the Islamist and the Zionist. You see, everything that the masses know, they are purposely given. There is layers of deception much deeper than the synagogue of Satan. Israel is just the first covert layer. So this begs the question, if Israel is the scapegoat, then who's the bigger fish in the pond? And the answer is, in my personal belief, none other than Rome. Why do you think Jeffrey Epstein was shaking hands with the Pope? But he wasn't just shaking hands, he was roommates with him according to his file. Why was the Zionist roommates with the Catholic? They want you to think that Rome is dead, but if you really research, if you really dig into it, they are setting themselves up to be the one world church under the Antichrist. Which brings me to the next part of the letter. They say that they are going to introduce the true doctrine of Lucifer to the disillusioned Christian masses. So let's think about this. The commonality between the Zionists and the Islamists is that they both deny Christ. Who doesn't deny Christ? The Catholic Church. But although they claim Christ, they don't teach the character of Christ. They are the perfect catalyst to introduce a false antichrist to the disillusioned Christian lukewarm masses. And he's gonna look like the real one to the masses. I mean, Satan masquerading as an angel of light means he looks holy, he looks true, he might come looking like the modernized version of Jesus Christ. Remember guys, it is written that if it were possible, even the very elect would be deceived. So how do you discern a false Christ from the real one? Well, 2 Thessalonians 2 talks about the Antichrist, and the title that he is given is the man of lawlessness. You see, on one side of the spiritual spectrum, you have legalism, which is when you get your justification from the law, like the Pharisees. But on the other side, which is the more modern side, you have lawlessness, which means you completely abandon the law, you abandon order, and you abuse grace.
Are you worried about the Doomsday dice roller? So they made this about 75 years ago, and then 17 witches put a curse on it, and they said the time that you roll all of these dice and they all land on one, snake eyes is what they said. They said there'll be 4 months left until the end of the world. And so they've been rolling it once a day. And every day, of course, like there's a bunch of different dice rolls. Well, yesterday, they finally came out and they all landed on one. So a lot of people are freaking out saying, does this mean the end of the world is nigh? And others are saying, this is dumb, stupid. It's just a coincidence. So I'm curious what you think.
Что за хуйня, пацаны? Время 2. Что за хуйня? Кто ты? Ебать, кто это? Блядь. Уходи, Заебал, кто это? Уходи, я тебе сказал, Ирка, что ли? Son. Yeah, right.
Wow. Wow. I have never seen that before.
Kids were using it.
Your kids were using it?
Yeah.
John. John, do you know what this is? I have. I don't know what to tell you. And this thing, what is this?
Yeah.
It's like tape of some kind.
Yeah. The kids were using it, so.
And why does she keep grabbing the condom?
No. No, man. Stop. No. That's not true. That is not true. Shh. Shut up. It's not a game. I don't think that's true. You see, it's shaped like that because the plate falls in place. And remember, the plate has to turn while the food is on it. Now, I don't know why it looks like that, but it's not that. Although it looks like that, it's not that. This is what people are saying, right? So please, don't come up on here saying things like that that could possibly not be true. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purpose only. I don't know where the hell that guy got that video from or put that together because he's just making things up. Shut up! I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Because I stopped using a microwave 10 years ago, plus, probably longer. I just use a toaster oven. Or I use a regular oven. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game on here, guys. You know what time is it. Shut up! Now, whatever this sign means has nothing to do with a microwave. The microwave is used for you to heat your food up faster because you're in a rush. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game on here, guys. You know what time is it. Shut up! But I tell you one thing. If I ever go to somebody's house and they say you want to eat and my food comes out the microwave, okay.
What's wrong with her? Hold on. That thing is demonic. I promise you, if that thing is at the end of my bed, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm going to throw it away.
Drake released a McDonald's. It is blacked out. The brick walls
coming 217. It's the 217 code we've been looking at with the movie Weapons. That's the order the towers fell. Tower 2, Tower 1, and Tower 7 is releasing this new album with the 2 towers on it, and it's cold. Being released on 217, that's the eclipse in Antarctica, where it's cold. McDonald's is releasing this, Where Night Owls Land, on 217. Where Night Owls Land in Gematria, the numerical value is 217.
23,000 pounds of ground beef just got recalled once again, but this one's a little bit different because it's already been shipped to restaurants across multiple different states. Dude, this is actually insane, and obviously here we are again. The USDA just dropped a Class 1 recall, which by the way is the highest risk level that they have. This is currently on a company that's called CS Beef Packers. They found E. coli 0145 in raw ground beef that was just produced on January the 14th. What's actually being recalled right now are these 10-pound bulk packages shipped straight to restaurants and cafeterias all across California, Idaho, and Oregon. They're saying that this strain is not just a stomach bug. The USDA says that it can cause severe symptoms, especially dangerous for kids under 5 or anybody with a weakened immune system. There have been no official confirmed illnesses yet, but the use-by date on these packages was February the 4th, which means that some of it could have already been shipped and served before anybody knew. Dude, the amount of recalls that are coming out this year alone is insane, and hopefully this one obviously doesn't get expanded. I will keep you updated if anything does get expanded though, so make sure you add me so you don't miss that if it happens.
We have to start asking ourselves these questions. If God's design is perfect, why would he make teeth that need to get pulled out? I did a video about this before, but a new study just came out. Mind you, the wisdom tooth is completely optional to take out. Now, don't miss the message. If you had wisdom teeth that were not growing the correct way, I understand why they had to pull them out. The pain and the infection that it could cause. There have been so many patients that got their wisdom teeth removed for no apparent reason. It didn't bother them, they were growing correctly, but the dentist still advised it. A lot of the times, these dentists will say to prevent a future infection from happening. Now these research reports keep on popping up saying that they contain stem cells, and these stem cells can heal your heart, brain, and bones. And now thinking further into it, why are they called wisdom teeth? Everything in the pharmaceutical industry and the health industry is so intentional. If we have the eyes to see and we start asking these questions and start thinking outside the box, you start seeing a pattern that all of these industries are following. I know so many people that got their wisdom teeth removed just cause. It wasn't affecting them, it was growing properly, there was no infections, nothing like that. Mind you, on the back end, they're collecting all of these teeth and extracting the wisdom out of it, extracting all of these stem cells. And nothing surprises me anymore.
Bro, it is currently 1:17 in the morning. Hear me.
Only in Thailand and nowhere else.
For example, you had how many birthdays?
Me? What do you think?
Well, I know that you had one birthday.
Yeah.
You were born on a certain day. Absolutely. You had no more birthdays after that. So I don't celebrate birthdays. So that stops me from counting days, which stops me from counting time, which allows me to still look the same as I did.
Happy birthday is witchcraft. Touch wood is an ancient magic ritual to summon the tree spirits. Turning the lights off and chanting happy birthday while blowing out candles and making a wish is a form of magic rituals. Black mirrors were used to contact spirits, and we use them every single day. They were called scrying mirrors. Scry became screen. When you are praying, you are trying to cast a spell to change reality with your words. The word abracadabra translates to I will create with my words. This is why we call it spelling. It's a spell. Birthday rituals are making you age quicker. When we say how old are you, we are tricking our subconscious mind that we are old. When you jinx something, this is a jinn, which is an invisible creature within the astral planes.
Hello? Hello?
You have documents, emails that connect Epstein to
Putin, but he's also connected to the CIA, he's also connected to Mossad, to Trump, connected into the AI oligarchy, to endless other world leaders. You look at Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister. His Svengali is Tony Blair. Tony Blair is owned by Larry Ellison, who funds him, the biggest private funder of the IDF, who was appointed US ambassador by Starmer, was a very close associate of Epstein. This same guy was the Svengali again of Tony Blair, who was the spin doctor that brought him to power as Prime Minister. But Epstein was just one guy. They're all connected in the end. There's an area of Judaism called Chabad Lubavitch that connects into Putin, to Zelensky, to Trump, to Lutnick, to Jared Kushner, to Netanyahu. There are these networks which connect people that in the public arena are unconnected.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.